I would say since pre-COVID, a lot of people. I think a lot of people are out tonight because tomorrow it's going to be really, really rainy. I think it's going to rain. It's going to be a pretty big washout for New Year's Eve. So let's go ahead and check out the city, check out all the different sites before the big washout tomorrow. But before that, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Gway Tejada is here. What's up? Good to see you as always. I see Austin City Limits, Will M, Lena Sandoval, Vinny Castellano, Preston 984, Evan Weeks. Good to see everybody. Let's head downstairs. Now, here's the good thing. It's about, maybe 50 degrees in Manhattan. Extremely, extremely nice weather. So at least we're not going to be freezing. Let me just make sure I have my key card to get back in the office. Hold on. All right. There we go. We'll take a quick look at the St. Patrick's Cathedral, all the way in the distance. Wow, check out all the tourists down here. You can see them all the way in the bottom left. They're still lined up outside of Saks Fifth Avenue. Check out the holiday lights. Pretty cool. But it's time for us to head out. And I'll see you guys on the ground floor. Let me just lock up. Brick stone walls here. Good to see you. This is an aerial view of the WeWork office. Monica E says, hey Tom, good to see you. Western Mass Dave, what's up? Good to see you, Dave. Now this is sort of like a loft style. Pretty interesting. Hey, Marcy M, what's up? Hey, the RV or TV. Good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Here's the kitchen area. Let me see if you guys could see a better view here of the Rockefeller Center. I think it may be a little bit too dark, but we'll see. Not too bad. All right, let's head out. Custom built American fire trucks. What's up? Says, hey, Tom and team. Good to see you. North is here. This is nice workspace. Thank you, North. Appreciate it. Let us head out. Touring different places. Welcome. Hope you guys had a good last business day of the year. Hopefully you all finished strong. War Walker says, what's up, Tom, Cat, and Mods? Happy 2023. Thank you so much. On this New Year's Eve. Saul Goodman says, when I went to Manhattan, or when I go to Manhattan, should I stay at the Gotham Hotel? You know, I've never even heard of that, to be honest. Hold on, let me press this again. Where is the Gotham Hotel? Hey, Preston says, hey guys, since I was sick, I'm fully better now. Love that. Fantastic. Al Baker, good to see you. All right, I'll see you guys on the ground floor. We'll get started. Tug Carter, welcome. Says, hey Tom, good to see you. Thank you. Hey, how's it going? All right. Okay, we are officially now on ground floor. Standing outside of the Saks Fifth Avenue. Abdullah is here. Good to see you, Abdullah. Welcome. Preston says it's supposed to be rainy New Year's Eve. Yeah, I heard that too. Supposedly it's going to be really, really rainy. Now, I think we're going to try to avoid all of the tourist locations because I think we may be buffering quite a bit. I think we should check out the Hudson Yards today. I don't think we've been down there in quite some time, quite a long time. The LT Prod says, but it's warm. Yeah, that's the good thing. At least it's not freezing. Hey, time lapse, fantastic performance. Well, let me read that comment. It's difficult to read the comments, but time lapse says, hey Tom, my investment portfolio is up 30% for 2022. Very good on my decisions. That's a fantastic performance, man. You should be really, really proud of that. It's fantastic. Now, talk about amazing outperformance of the benchmark. Now, the S&P didn't quite close down 20% for the year. It was like closed down 19%, 19.5%. So plus 30% when the major indices are down 30, or when the major indices are down 19, that's phenomenal performance. Really, really well done there. Austin City Limits, hey Tom, are we going to go into the stream at the countdown at New Year's? Maybe. I'm going to give it a maybe. It's supposed to be really, really rainy tomorrow, so I'm really not too sure. Nicholas Durr says, Tom, have you ever been to the American Dream Mall? I'm going there on New Year's. I have not. Now, I think you may have sent me an email about that. What is that? In Staten Island, perhaps? Steph UH says, hey, Tom and everybody. Good to see you, Steph. Look at all the tourists out tonight. A lot of people. I can only imagine what it's like on that side of the street. I'd say anything west of 5th Avenue tonight is probably going to be crazy, especially in between 5th and 6th. Probably, I would say 5th and 7th Avenues. In between them is going to be really crazy. So I guess we'll try to head downtown to maybe get away from the crowd, so to speak. Dusty Cole, good to see you. Thanks for being here, Dusty. Always a pleasure. Now, I was in the office almost all day today, and I must have heard this thing play at least over 20 times. But I guess it's kind of cool to see it one last time before the holidays are over. Hey, Chris B, what's up? Good to see you, Chris. Sunshine After Rain says, hello, Tom and everybody. Welcome. Michael Joseph says it's in New Jersey, largest mall in the country, and has major financial problems. Yeah, I don't really go to malls. I'm not really a big mall guy. Never really get out to malls. I guess we'll watch this and we'll head down. It's only on, a couple times a year. Hey, Anderson says we need 24% to get back to 2021 levels in the S&P. Yeah, you're right. That's why it's so important. We always talk about risk management, right? I mean, if you just run the basic maths on that, if you have a 20% drawdown, it takes you well over 20% just to get back to break even. Hey, JTJ says, hey, Tom, I made it. Good to see you, JTJ. Julia M. Selfridge, welcome. War Walker, thank you for joining us tonight. Ed Podcast says, hey Tom, Happy New Year's. Thank you, Ed. Happy New Year to you too. Will M says, Tom, Peter Schiff seems to be pretty hot on gold and gold mining stocks. Any thoughts? Yeah, he's always hot on gold and gold mining stocks all the time. I don't think I've ever seen a time where Peter Schiff was bearish on gold or gold mining stocks. I'll give you my thoughts on that in just a second. All right, I think that's, wow, look at all the people over here. The police even have the tape to try to keep people from spilling over into the street. Now, here's what I'll say about the gold mining stocks. I try not to trade any of those. And maybe, not maybe, it's because I really lack the expertise in that. And they're very, very dependent and driven on the price of the underlying commodity or precious metal, right? So it sort of adds extra variables depending on where the price of gold or silver is. A lot of the mining stocks will trade at different valuations, and it's just too many variables for me to really keep track. So I don't have any exposure to that. Now, obviously, Peter Schiff, the CEO of Euro Pacific Capital and Euro Pacific Bank, also does own a gold broker dealer, right? I mean, Schiff Gold, I think, is the name of it. So is there a conflict of interest there? Maybe. But I mean, Peter Schiff has been really consistent. He's been bullish on gold forever. Now, I'm not saying I'm not. You know, I think I told you guys about a conference call I was on earlier in the week, and somebody who I respect a lot is extremely, extremely bullish on gold and silver for 2023. I just don't have any exposure to it. Here you have the Empire State Building right here. Now, I think the only circumstance where I would get involved with gold or silver is if either of the two cracks a brand new all-time record high. Then I'll probably get involved and just buy the breakout. But I don't know, in my personal opinion, right? It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. I just don't personally have exposure to it. Hey, Spider Blaze, stop ignoring my question. All right, we will. Hawaii, good to see you. This is Yo Tom. Conversation always interests me. Good to see you, Hawaii. Yeah, Michael Joseph says stick with tech, Tom. You have an edge. 2023 might be your year since the tech bubble popped in 2022. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I always try to look for an edge. And I think, you know, investing is always about finding your edge. And, you know, I think that's where my edge is enterprise software, SaaS, telecom. And that has pretty much forced me to stay into very historic levels of cash this year because a lot of those stocks, or pretty much all of them, I would say, I think it's safe to say all of them, except for a couple, are not performing well for reasons that we've talked about, right? Most specifically, the monetary policy environment. Liquidity is being sucked out of the system. So a lot of these particular companies are getting smashed. And I think they may continue to do that. Touring different places, good to see you. I did enjoy the warm temperature today. Very, very nice. It's 50 degrees, it feels fantastic in this city, thank God. After many weeks of intense cold, extreme cold. Now you could tell there's a lot of people in the city today when you have a lot of tourists walking down Fifth Avenue in this part of Fifth Avenue. Usually here is pretty dead almost all the time. Hey, British Gray, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. British Gray is from Tampa, Florida. Joe C says Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Billy says celebrate the New Year, Tom. You earned it. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it. LT Prod says Northrop Grumman is up 37%. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the defense stocks have been performing well. You're right. Now, I think it's going to spark a political debate, but defense stocks are performing really well. I mean, the military-industrial complex is kicking along, especially this year with all the massive amounts of money we're spending there. Awesome view of the Empire State Building here. Yeah, Yogi says lots of excited families walking around, very festive atmosphere. Wendy England, good to see you, Wendy. Says Tom, tomorrow in New York City is going to be very nuts. You know, I think it may, but I also think it may not. We're supposed to get a big rainstorm. It's supposed to rain like crazy coming here. Who knows? Who knows? Chris B says, hey everybody, welcome. Marcy M, good to see you. Hey Carlos, thank you so much. Happy holidays and Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year. Nina is here. Says, hey Tom, good to see you, Nina. Thanks for joining. Fun Feeds is the ice cream truck. Frank the Tank says, hey Tom, great stream. Is Prism software back up? I don't think it is. So we're using a different streaming software called OBS Streamlabs. So it is a little bit difficult to read the chats, but maybe we'll give it a try later. Just Jennifer says, Tom, I appreciate your level of engagement with the chat, even though you're navigating the streets. Thank you so much. Al Baker says, any New Year's resolutions? Well, I try not to do New Year's resolutions. What I try to do is, and we sort of talked about this a little bit before, I try to really refine systems. So instead of just setting a goal, right? Let's say, a generic goal, I'll just use for example, I want to lose 20 pounds in the new year, whatever. I think that's a common one. I think it's better to sit down and develop a repeatable, systematic process to achieving that goal and then working that system every day, right? So what are the specific tasks that you need to take every single day in order to achieve that goal down the line, right? Because that's something measurable, I think. I think activities and metrics, obviously are measurable. I think broad-based goals are not measurable. And I think this is one of the things I learned, just working in corporate America in sales. You have a quota, but you also have a quota for metrics. And those metrics track production and they track activity. So, generally speaking, if you are, making your calls, if you're setting appointments, if you're meeting with customers, if you're running new appointments, you're going to get to your end goal, which is hitting your quota, right? So maybe if you have a goal of, losing 20 pounds or something like that, I don't know, I'm just using a broad-based goal, maybe just make a system to say, okay, I'm going to eat 1 cup of vegetables every single week for 2 weeks, right? Very, very small and very doable. And then once you accomplish that, you ratchet that number up. Okay, I'm going to eat 3 cups of vegetables a week. And then by the time it's 2024, you're eating a cup of vegetables a day, right? So hammering out and refining those systems, I think is a little bit better. Who knows? Hey, the RV or TVs is plan, execute, analyze, and adjust is what I follow. That's really good. That's really good. Wow, notice all the people here, everybody. Usually there's almost nobody around this part of Fifth Avenue. I think, the main touristy parts are probably in the 50s all the way up to 59th Street, but very seldom do we actually see a lot of people here. Looks like everybody's trying to get as close as they can to Times Square. Speaking of Times Square, if you look all the way down 42nd Street, that'll actually take you all the way into Times Square. But now we are looking eastbound at Grand Central Station and the beautiful Chrysler building here. Hey, Jack S. says, hey Tom, do we ever walk by Citigroup Center? That building has an interesting story about the architecture messing up, so the building would be dangerous in the wind. Citigroup Center, is that the one all the way on the east side? I'm not too sure the exact building you're referring to, but I think I know which one you're talking about. I want to say it's on, is it on Lexington Avenue or Madison? I forget. Hey, Julia M says, I already gave up smoking, lost 15 pounds. That's awesome. Julia, congrats on that. I mean, my God, what a fantastic accomplishment that is. Love that. Mel says, Tom, we use SMART goals. With clients in social work. Love that. Joseph Hardaway is here. Good to see you, Joseph. Dallas F says, what's up, Tom, and a happy new year, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Cody says, we're going to Brooklyn tonight, correct? We were going to go to Brooklyn, but my day got all screwed up. And I was in Manhattan the whole day. I didn't have a chance to get down there. I was actually going to be in Brooklyn most of the day. But, my day is just... Hey, Shawnee says, hey, Tom, your thoughts on marijuana being legalized and the shops finally open? So I think, where is that dispensary? That's near St. Mark's Place, right in the Lower East Side. Is that where the first legal marijuana dispensary is? Is that correct? And I think they opened that last night. Well, excuse me, not last night, yesterday, I think. Right? But my take on that is I actually agree with it. And I think way back in the day, wow, look at the sea of cars here. You could see Grand Central Station in the distance. We'll actually be walking over there pretty soon. You could also see the Chrysler building. But check out Dr. Carl Hart. I think he has a pretty good take on it. But yeah, I think overall it's positive, I'd say. Hey, Traveling D says, greetings, Tom. Good to see you, Traveling D. RJ says, Olaf from Colorado. Thanks for being here. Dan Sang says, Tom, I think New Year's resolution is not real because motivation has an expiration date. You need discipline. If you want to do something, do it now. That's a good point. Julia M, yeah, I'm all right today. It's been a crazy day for me. Been a crazy day. But a good day. Been a good day. A little crazy, but a good day. Good day. Today was the official last trading day of the year. Now, I have this tradition that I started a little while ago. And on the last trading day of every year, I go into one of my retirement accounts and I just buy the S&P, right? I just buy one share of the S&P and just hold it forever in my retirement account. It's sort of like a good luck for the next year. So I always buy the close on the last trading day of the year. Here we have the entrance to Summit, 1 Vanderbilt. Hey, MP4s is it around 44 degrees there? You know, it feels actually warmer than that. It feels warmer than 44 degrees. It feels like 50. It's actually really nice in the city. Now, could you guys imagine if tomorrow we have this exact weather? I mean, the city would be pandemonium. It would be insane. I think you would have the largest turnout ever for the ball drop. But tomorrow it's actually supposed to rain, so we'll see. Hey, Julia M., thank you so much for your very kind donation. Thank you for all of the support this year. I appreciate you very, very much. And thank you for being here all year. It's been a blast. So thank you for your very kind donation. Pup says, how do you be so confident? I struggle a lot, but you're the most confident and self-assured person I know. Thank you for saying that. I'm not sure if that's true, but I appreciate it. I think, I wouldn't say it's confidence. I think it's just experience with public speaking. Now, if you're still a college student or something like that, I think my biggest piece of advice would be to take as many public speaking courses as you possibly can. Now, many people actually, when they're in college, they tend to avoid them, right? Because nobody wants to get up in front of their class and speak. You know, it's nerve-wracking. It sucks, right? I think we could all admit that, right? Public speaking sucks. But I think it's one of the most crucial things you could ever do in your life. And, you know, I think over the years of being in a customer or client-facing sales position, having to give presentations in front of C-level, you know, people at companies, I think it's just you sort of become used to it over time. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily confidence. I would just say it's a habit of just getting used to presenting. Does that make sense? Because I don't view myself as particularly confident. I think it's just what I've done constantly is just speak in front of people in high stress situations. So maybe that's it. Who knows? Pershing Square, but I appreciate the compliment. It means a lot. Pershing Square right here. You have all the pigeons eating their New Year's Eve dinner. Hey, TC is here. What's up? This is great advice. Thank you, TC. Will M., I'm not sure I've heard about that. Julia M. says you love the thing next to me. What, this one? The dancing hippo, right? Yeah, Pup says I got better when I got my first job. I still struggle with social anxiety. Might just be me. Yeah, I mean, if you could believe it, I am an extreme, like ultra extreme introvert, like hyper extreme. But you sort of just have to, one of the things I live by is if I really don't want to do something, or if I know something seems really uncomfortable, I just force myself to do that thing like immediately. And over time, you'll develop like a callus for it. And it'll become natural, right? I'm an extremely introverted person. I don't like being around a lot of people, but you know, I think over time, if you just go towards the thing that is most uncomfortable, it's gonna become normal, I would say. I know NYC 97 says public speaking in college was my worst fear. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I remember my public speaking class. I took 2 of them. One of them was more of like a speech class, I would say, but some people really struggle with it. You know, there were students that would come up at the front and they would literally be shaking. Like they would be holding their paper of notes and they'd be shaking. And it's normal. It's normal, right? But I think over time, as you constantly hammer on it and do it, you're gonna get better at it. You're gonna get a lot better. Hey, Walking Minnesota, what's up? This is Tom. There was a productivity book called Eat That Frog about taking care of difficult/annoying things, because if you don't, it will be like a frog croaking at you all day, slowing you down. Let me screenshot that. I want to read that. Thank you for that recommendation, by the way. Evan Weeks, this is Tom. One of my past employers nominated me to teach new hires our systems and architecture and introduce them to our technology stack from scratch. I fell in love with teaching from there on forward. There you go. And I bet at first you were like, oh man, I'm volunteered for this thing. And you were kind of probably a little bit bummed out about it. That's true. I think, with anything that's foreign to you, right, it's going to be uncomfortable. But if you just constantly hammer on it every day, in perpetuity, forever, it's going to become second nature. And, I think you'll get used to it. John Sorley says, I enjoy public speaking. That's awesome. I wouldn't say I necessarily enjoy it. I would say I'm used to it. I wish I would enjoy it. Stephen Bates says, I got up in front of the whole cafeteria lunchroom and put a pie in my supervisor's face for a fundraiser. My arms were shaking so bad. Oh my God. Dan Zhang says, Tom, you can grow so much when you force yourself to do things that you don't want to do. 100%, 100,000%. Now, the trick is just to do it like little by little, right? So believe it or not, I remember when I first started off in B2B sales, the acronym is business to business. Really quick, I want to quickly show you guys. This is the Chrysler building. We're standing directly, I would say, adjacent from it. Amazing art deco. One of the most amazing art deco buildings in the city is right here. Lexington Avenue and 42nd Street. But when I first started off, my first real B2B tech sales job, I remember picking up the phone to make a call, and it felt like the phone weighed like 1,000 pounds. And I remember like being so petrified and deterred. I remember this guy picked up the phone and he's like, no thanks, and he just hung up on me. And I remember how like deterred I was. And I was like, there's no way I'm ever gonna make this work. I was like, there's no way in a million years that this is gonna work out for me. I'm like, it's just not. But, going back to that systems thing again, it's don't focus on the end result at all at first. What you should focus on is just the activity set. So let's say if you wake up and you go to the office, okay, and start with a very, very small goal, okay, and especially if you're just starting out. Don't pay attention to the metrics your company gives you, because at first it's just going to seem so unattainable. So just start off by going in the office, picking up the phone and say, I'm going to make 10 calls and then I'm going to go home. Just 10, right? Just complete 10 phone calls, like struggle bus through the whole thing. Okay, even if these people hang up on you, even if you're jumbling over your words, even if you don't understand what you're saying, it could even be, hey, this is Tom, and then you just like turn into mush. Just make the 10 calls, okay? And wake up and do it tomorrow. And then the next day, and then the next day. And once you get through an entire week of struggling, do 10 calls, you just made 50 calls, right? And then nudge it up the next week to 12, then to 15, then to 20, and then sooner or later, before you know it, you're gonna be going into the office and banging out 50 calls a day, setting appointments, going and traveling to people's offices, and it's gonna be like second nature. But you gotta start off with just making like 5 or 10, and it doesn't even have to be good. Don't even worry about if you sound good. Hey Mustafa, what's up? Good to see you, Mustafa. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Brad's Brain says, I didn't enjoy it, but do it often at work. You just do it. Largest group for me has been probably 300 people at an awards dinner. Whoa. Yeah, that's definitely a nerve-wracking one. Definitely nerve-wracking. Now, I think the most nerve-wracking public speaking that I've had to do, I would travel to a lot of these They're called like home healthcare conferences. Maybe some of you who work in the industry sort of know what I'm talking about, but there's a conference and you could sponsor these events, right? So let's just say if it's, the New York State Home Healthcare Association, there'll be, 50 companies there. And the room will be filled with all of the C-suite at these major companies, right? So it's a really good opportunity to stand up in front of all of those people and present your product or gain interest. I think that's probably the largest audience I've had to go up in front of. And I used to do that all the time. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all up and down the East Coast. I'm not sure if it was quite 300, I don't think. Probably less than that. Hey, Mario is here. This is hello from Portugal. Good to see you, Mario. I'm assuming you're a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Hey, Brian Forrest, what's up? So I've actually stayed in this hotel before. This is the Westin. It's actually pretty nice. There's some really nice views from this building as well. Hey, Maria says, hope everybody had a great Christmas. I did. Hope you did as well. Pretty nice bar and lounge area too. So when you stay in this hotel, this is the view that you have. Beautiful Empire State Building. Then you have One Vanderbilt. And then all the way down is one of our favorites, which is the Bank of America Tower. Hey, Nelson Campos, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure joining your streams. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Lizzie says, hey, Tom, how are you? I'm doing really well. Doing really well. Today was the last business day of the year. And we're about to ring in 2023. I almost can't believe it. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic for next year. I think it's going to bring us all a lot of success and additional challenges to navigate in the financial markets too. This is 3rd Avenue. Go for Hockeys. That's an interesting one. Yeah, start the conversation like you already know. It's a good tip. Michelle says this year went by so fast. It did. This year flew by. It seems like the past couple years was, I think, the fastest moving years for me, especially 2020 and 2021. And they just seem, I don't even remember them almost. They went by so fast. Yeah, Roman says, I'm ready for 2023. I am too. I am as well. Oh, is that true? Barbara Walters passed away? That's horrible. Wow. Isn't there a very famous saying that a lot of these celebrities or notable people always tend to die in threes, I guess? Has anybody else ever heard that? Because we had Pele, unfortunately, the greatest soccer player of all time, pass away yesterday, and now Barbara Walters, I guess today. I didn't even know. I didn't see it at all. Maybe the news just broke while we were doing the live stream now. Chris B says, yeah, in threes. Wow, so when did this news break about Barbara Walters. Is this real time live now? Hey, Nelson Campos is wishing you, Tom, and everybody here a wonderful and successful 2023. Thank you so much for that. I'm wishing you the same. Hey, James Tigers is right now on ABC. That's horrible. That's sad. That's really sad, man. Frank the Tank says she was 93 years old. But, at the end of the day, here's what I think about that. If you can be so lucky as to make it into your 90s, I mean, that's a blessing in and of itself. So it's not as sad. I mean, it's still, sad, but, a lot of people don't have the pleasure of making it well into their 90s. That is a long and fulfilled life for sure. So I think if you can make it past 90, I mean, you can't really ask for any more than that. That's amazing. I'll give you guys another quick shot of Grand Central Terminal here. Melissa White says it's true she passed away at the age of 93. Wow. There was a lot of notable people. I think one of the main partners of Guggenheim unfortunately passed away over the holiday season. I think he had a heart attack. And he was only 63 years old. I mean, think about that, put it in perspective. I think I posted about that on Twitter. I'm like, look, 63 years old. It sort of puts it in perspective that nothing is really guaranteed in this life. Here is a look at the bridge, Pershing Square Plaza. Hey, Love is Kind, what's up? Good to see you, Love is Kind, Joe C. Brad's Brain says every birthday is a blessing. I hate people saying sucks to get old. Yeah, that's true. You're right, Brad. You're 100% right. Beautiful yellow lab. Beautiful dog there. I'm actually curious, everybody. Let's see how packed it is in Grand Central Station, because the city is on fire tonight. There's a ton of people, a ton of tourists. Let's see how crazy busy Grand Central Terminal is. Or maybe it's not busy, we'll see. Thank you. Hey, Ed T. This is Labs are my second favorite type of dog. What's your number one? I think Yellow Lab, Chocolate Lab, and Beagle. Clump those together, those are my favorite. Wow, I really like the look when everything is cleared out of here at Grand Central. Check out the beautiful architecture here, and obviously, as you guys know, the chandeliers are my absolute favorite by far. Kevin's like Bulldog. Stevens is Huskies. My sister has a really nice Husky that I got to see over Thanksgiving. Christmas and Thanksgiving. Now, I posted a standalone video today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be in the live chat. I was busy. But I got some footage of the new Moynihan train hall during the busiest travel day of the year. Now, supposedly there were tons of cancellations and delays for the Amtrak train. Here's another really nice dog that this kid has right here. Supposedly there was over 90 cancellations and delays on the Amtrak train. And you'll see it if you watch the video. There's tons of people lined up. I guess it's just a reminder to be careful when traveling during the holidays. Hey, the Celtec, good to see you. Happy New Year's Eve to you. Pineapple Water, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Marcy M says, Tom, I inherited an Australian Shepherd, such a sweet dog. I'm trying to picture in my mind what an Australian Shepherd looks like. I've obviously probably seen them before. NYC 97 says, what is the Beagle's name? The name is Ocho Cinco. Named after the very notable and famous former Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver and Sporting Kansas City. Now, many people don't know this, but Chad Ochocinco actually did a trial. I don't think he made the roster, but he had a trial run with Sporting Kansas City, a professional soccer team. Hey, the Mighty Bull, thank you so much, Mighty Bull, for your $10 donation. I appreciate all the support this year. And I'm wishing you a very successful and powerful 2023 with many, many Mighty Bulls. You know, speaking of the Mighty Bull, we might as well check him out. He's on the ceiling here. We were actually going to start the stream off in Brooklyn and then walk to Manhattan over the Brooklyn Bridge. But supposedly right now, the police are requesting crowd control on the Brooklyn Bridge because there's way too many people. Did anybody see that? I got a notification actually that the police are requesting crowd control because there's just too many people on the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, Just Barry says, hey Tom, I wish you a wonderful Happy New Year. Thank you so much, Just Barry. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, Ryan Beck says that was wildly bullish in the last hour of the market today. Yeah, and if you notice, oh, hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you
And happy
too.
holidays.
You're doing a great job with it. It looks good.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that very much.
I like it a lot.
Hey, enjoy, man. What's your
Thank
name?
you. Dwight.
Dwight. Tom,
Yeah.
nice to meet
Good
you.
to meet you, Tom.
Thanks so much for being
Great
here.
job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy New Year. That's a nice guy. Happy New Year to everybody I've met in person, too. Oh, Harry Connor, is that right? Yeah, I think, what are the Mastiffs are the largest breed of dogs ever, right? Now, I've said this a million times, but I'll say it again. If you look all the way over here through this door, and if you go up the stairs, in this little section here, it's arguably one of the best bars ever. Now, I don't drink alcohol, but I still go there sometimes because it's just so beautiful. It's called the Campbell Bar. It's fantastic. If you guys want to look up some photos of it, you know, there's tons on Google Images. The place is unreal. You got to check it out. I was actually there on, I think, Christmas Eve. Yeah, I think I was there Christmas Eve. Sometimes they have live music playing there. It's a fantastic place. Hey, Richard Vogel, good to see you. Thanks for being here, Richard. Now, I really want to check out the setup of Times Square, but I don't even think we're going to be able to get there today. It's just going to be too crazy. But we'll see. Oh, I think it's Kaylee or Kylie. I think it's Kylie, if I remember correctly. This is Happy New Year, everybody in the chat. How is everybody doing? Almost 2023. This year has been crazy and harder than others, in my opinion. Yeah, it's been a wild year for many. But I think, staying optimistic is the best. Another cool dog coming down the stairs here. Now, I think we should all take a guess. I think it'll be fun. In 2023, Do we think the S&P is going to finish positive, or do we think we're going to have another year of negative action in the S&P 500? Now, on my Twitter, if you follow at Walks Wall Street, I actually posted an interesting chart of the S&P 500 on yearly candles. So if you go to tradingview.com, you could actually adjust the time frame to go from daily, weekly, monthly, but you could actually customize and do yearly candles. And take a look at the yearly close. I think we were about 3 points away from a bearish engulfing candle. And to Ryan Beck's point, we had a big rally at the end of the day, just to ensure the S&P didn't close down 20%. Did anybody notice that? I think the final tick was down 19.5%, maybe a little less, like a couple points off. Hey, Brian Forrest, what's up? War Walker says, wall-to-wall people at Times Square, Tomcat. I would go to Central Park to avoid Times Square after the new year. Thank you for that. Yeah, everybody's probably out today because it's going to be pouring rainy tomorrow. Hey, Eyeglass Lady, thank you so much. This is Tom dropping by to say Happy New Year. Thank you, Eyeglass Lady. Happy New Year to you too. Wayne McKay says, Tom, S&P 500 will rally until end of August, then give up all the gains by December, and then flat for 2023. Interesting prediction. I respect it. Yeah, the Celtics says the Dow is only down 9% for the year. Yeah, if you want to look at it on an indice by indice basis, NASDAQ took the biggest beating, then the S&P, and then the Dow, which actually tends to make sense, right? We've been talking about this monetary policy environment where as interest rates start to go up, and liquidity is sucked out of the system, right? So the Federal Reserve is unwinding their balance sheet. Investors don't want to pay a premium for money-losing companies, right? So we sort of talked about the risk-free rate, and as the risk-free rate goes up, that changes the discounted cash flow of those companies, right? And this is why, even if you run your own retail brokerage account, you'll probably build these type of models, but especially if you've worked in investment banking or consulting, you'll build something that's called a discounted cash flow model, where the goal is to try to understand the value of a company's future cash flows, right? And as the risk-free rate goes up, the value of a company's future cash flows are now worth less today, if that makes sense. So the market has to re-rate those companies, and you have a rotation into value. Think about all the stocks that make up the Dow. Not super high growth stocks, but big dividend payers. A lot of oil companies who've had a really, really good year so far. Also IBM, right? I think the yield on IBM is like 4.5%. Now let's go up the escalator and head out through the MetLife entrance. Michael Joseph says S&P now trading at 18 multiple. Is that on a forward basis? I guess we can now calculate the final print, right? So what is the forward PE multiple on the S&P? Could we look that up real quick? Or maybe you just said it. Sabrina Fair, what's up? Sabrina Fair wishing you a very, very successful 2023. Troy Atman says we're buffering. Visa's 18.8 PE. Evan Weeks, Tom, I find it fascinating that IBM is doing well as they are. I mean, they have Red Hat, which is a moneymaker, true. Well, I think the thing about those more established companies, right? And if we think about the companies that have performed well this year, they're not these, ultra, I'm trying to find a descriptive terminology. I'm going to say disruptive growth, right? So think about all of the flashy companies that claim they have the new best piece of software, the new best, biotechnology product. Those companies aren't performing well, right? Those companies perform well in a risk-on environment, but the companies that perform relatively well, again, we're talking on a relative basis, tend to be the more conservative, more, consumer non-durable companies. Coca-Cola, I think, is trading near a 52-week high. Coca-Cola is not curing cancer, right? There's really no innovation there. It's just they are a very predictable, very good business that spits off a ton of free cash and pays dividends and continues to grow their dividends. Same with a lot of stocks in the Dow, right? But if you think about these, ultra turbocharged SaaS companies, they don't pay a dividend. They don't spit off any free cash flow, or very seldomly they do. And they don't have any earnings, right? So I think in risk-on environments, when rates are really low, Wall Street wants to take these big pie-high-in-the-sky bets on growth companies to bet on their future earnings, right? What's going to be the next Amazon? What's going to be the next Microsoft? And now that rates are higher, what's the better risk reward there? Now, we talked about the yield curve for a little bit, and we talked about, U.S. Treasuries. Where did the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield end today? 3.8%. So if you have a 10-year Treasury at 3.8, why would you want to buy? Why wouldn't you just load up on Treasuries, right? All right, here we are, Park Avenue. This is a lot of traffic for Park, isn't it? This is a lot of traffic here at Park Avenue. Evan Weeks says, Tom, what would you say differentiates IBM from another consulting-heavy company like Accenture that is down almost 35% for the year? Well, I think if you look at the statements for IBM, isn't the majority of their revenue from consulting? Now, I also think IBM is trying to make this really, really big push into their cloud unit, right? Their IBM Watson. Now, however, I think IBM sold off its healthcare Watson unit, or its IBM Watson Healthcare, to PwC. I think they did that transaction earlier this year, or last year. But I think maybe the market is looking at this business as sustainable. It pays a good dividend. And, the CEO is doing a relatively good job to invest in R&D to bring about new products and services. So I don't know, what would you guys say is the biggest differentiating factor? Now, I haven't really done a deep dive analysis on IBM, but I think I'm almost 90% certain that much of the revenue out of IBM actually comes from consulting. Lizzie says Accenture is pure consulting. They have most of their offices in Argentina. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that at all. I didn't know they had most of their offices in Argentina. Yeah, Michael Joseph says, Tom, IBM has really held up well. All consulting and new hybrid cloud. Now, what was the final after dividends, right? Because it has a really, really aggressive dividend yield, I think like 4.5%. I'm going to look that up when I get on the train. Maybe we can look it up now. What was the year-to-date return of IBM? Now this is actually kind of funny, but really quick, hold that thought. Here we are. This is going to be Jamie Dimon's brand new office tower here. You're looking at the construction site of the JP Morgan Chase building. 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5% 4.5 Now, I think the worst performer in the Dow Jones Industrial Average of the Dow 30 was the newly admitted stock to the Dow, which is our good pal Mark Benioff's Salesforce. Michael Joseph says, Tom, IBM is developing new on-site hybrid clouds and says will be bigger than their mainframes. Wow. John says, thoughts on PayPal. I took PayPal off the watch list entirely because PayPal is one of those stocks that's been absolutely smashed. And, we'll go up one more, and then let's check out the Bryant Park Winter Village and just sort of see how crazy the crowds are. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go up one more and then we'll make a left. I'm so surprised about how much traffic is driving down Park Avenue, probably because the NYPD is starting to divert much of the traffic away from Broadway, perhaps. Now, I'll give you guys a little bit of a tip that's probably obvious. I would not drive anywhere around New York City tomorrow. Even today, I don't know why people are driving. And people are honking their horns. It's like, guys, you're driving your car in Manhattan on one of the busiest days in the year. Of course, there's going to be traffic. Anyway. Hey, Lupe, thank you so much for your very kind $5 donation. I'm wishing you a very happy new year. And thank you for being a great moderator for the stream this year and for all of your help. I really appreciate it. I see Andy is here. Says, hey, Tom, good to see you. Andy is joining us from South Korea. I should be there, hopefully later this month. Andy. I'm excited about that. I've never been really abroad, so I'm excited. The LT Prods is IBM is a priceless name in the gold standard. They also pay very high base salaries. Very, very high. Now, I think I told you guys this about a million times, but I interviewed, this was back in the day, for an enterprise account executive position for their IBM Watson Healthcare cloud unit. I did not get the position, and then it turns out they sold off that unit, so I probably would have got laid off anyway. So I guess some things are meant to be. Here we have the Cause statue here, our good pal. Hey, Ren 1018. This is Tom. IBM advanced 7.28% this year. Thank you, Ren 10. Yeah, Billy says IBM is decent for dividend. We're looking at a 10-year chart. It looks like a value trap, in my opinion. So, Billy, it's good that you bring that up because I wanted to make an observation, and this is what I think. And again, these are my opinions. It doesn't mean they're going to happen. It doesn't mean that they're not going to happen. These are just my opinions. Notice a lot of these, because here's what I always say. I'm like, usually during new bull markets, right? The emergence of a brand new bull market, if you run the data, very, very seldom do former true market leaders, and the definition of a true market leader is stocks that really, really led the market in former bull cycles, right? So you can think about your Teslas, all your FANG stocks, right? And if you study market history, once those true market leaders top, and the definition of a true top is they're down, once they go down about 35%, there's only a 2% likelihood that those true market leaders will then go on to be the new true market leaders in the next bull cycle. And this is why I always say, I'm scouring the new high list, right? So I want to be looking for stocks that are coming off the bottom, assuming we start a new bull trend, that are already trading near 52-week highs. I think where a lot of people, right, are going to get stuck when this new bull market comes about, and I don't know when it's going to come about, right? It could be tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Market's closed. It could be a month from now. It could be a year from now. It could be 5 years from now, okay? But here's something I'm almost certain of. When we have a new bull market, and there will be new bull markets, there's going to be an entirely new set of stocks that are going to lead this market. There's going to be new Teslas, there's going to be new Microsofts, there's going to be new Amazons. I think a lot of those stocks, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are cooked. The ones that are going to go up the most are companies maybe that we've not even heard about yet. But the best way to find them is looking at that 52-week high list. So to Billy's point, and this is sort of what I'm getting at, we'll quickly stop by the Seagram building, is that if you look at the 52-week high or the new high list right now, what are you going to see? You're going to see all of these consumer non-durable stocks. So one could get a little bit confused to say, oh, well, then that means I have to pile into these names. But it is a little bit of a trick, in my opinion, because if you think about it, should we get into more accommodative monetary policy? Okay, should the economy turn back up? Should corporate profits and corporate earnings start to go back up? The leaders are not going to be the Coca-Colas of the world. It's not going to be the consumer non-durables. Those are probably going to go down significantly. There's probably going to be a big rotation out of those, and it's probably going to happen really fast. So it's a good point that Billy brings up, because I think a lot of people may be caught in that trade. So just be cognizant of that if and when the market turns. So we have good old Blackstone across the street, our friend Steven Schwartzman. Now, there's some talk or some rumors on Wall Street that Steven Schwartzman may step down next year and retire. I'm not sure, but if he does, happy retirement to our friend Steven Schwartzman. Travel Nista is here, good to see you. Hey, Friendship Lights, good to see you. This is Tom, was there any one stock that surprised you this year outperforming your expectations? Very good question.
Do you do interviews?
Oh, no, I don't do interviews. Sorry about that. Sorry. That's a good question, though. What is one stock that outperformed this year that surprised me? Let me think about that, actually. It's a really good question. Across the street is BlackRock. I'm gonna have to think about that for a little bit. I want to be a GMO, says Tom. You could start a walks, talk, and interview stream. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that stuff. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's not good content. It's just not me. After work, I like to just unwind and hang out with everybody in the chat. I don't really like going up to people and interviewing them. It's just not me. I think she had a notepad in her hand. Maybe it was someone from the Post. I don't know. Millie Vanillius' 5 below stock outperform. Well, a lot of those, what did the Dollar General finish at? Or the Dollar Tree? But I wouldn't say that surprised me. I'm trying to think of a good one. That's actually it's a phenomenal question. Okay, I'll give you one. But it's not a stock. It's not a stock. Let's actually head down this way, because I think we're going to start the buffer. I think that deserves the question of the night. That's actually a really good, thought-provoking question. Now, does anybody know what commodity outperformed by a large, large margin? It was orange juice. So one of the best trades this year was going long orange juice futures and short lumber. Okay, if you would have told me that last year, no, I would not have predicted that in 1,000,000,000 years. So I think that was the most surprising to me. So let me know if anybody in the chat went long orange juice, short lumber futures this year. I think that was the most surprising to me. Good question. Now, we usually come here, everybody, and this section is all closed off. So it's kind of nice to be able to walk around the courtyard. Michael Joseph says 60-40 is dead. FANG is dead. Stocks and bonds both down. Most surprising thing in 2022, says Michael Joseph. It's also a good one. Now, Michael, I posted this on my Twitter, and here's one of my predictions. I'm actually going to give you guys a prediction for very, very early next year, okay? And I hate giving predictions because, I think the vast majority of us here understand that, when we give predictions, it's not investment advice, but there are some people who, oh no, I think we're getting locked in. Oh, let me leave here before we get locked in. This is hilarious. I just want to get out of here before I get locked in. Hey, Western Mass Dave, good to see you. Hey, thank you. Sorry about that. We almost got locked in the New York Palace. Oh, look at these guys. Yeah, Dusty calls like climb out. Okay, here's my prediction, okay? Now, Michael was talking about the 60-40 portfolio, which performed the worst, like it got bombed, okay? So here's my prediction. I think there's going to be tons of articles. Barron's, Investors Business Daily, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, with front page headline is going to be the death of the 60-40. And you're going to see analyst after analyst after analyst dogging on the 60-40 portfolio, how it's dead, how you need to change everything up, you need to go in, you need to make a bunch of changes and adjustments, and And then the 60-40 portfolio is going to come back stronger than ever and put on some of its best gains in history. Okay, that is my over-the-top prediction for next year. Again, I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but that is my prediction. Thoughts on that? Too contrarian? Is that too contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian? Because I have an open mind. Maybe it is. I'm not saying that I'm some, expert at predicting things, but usually that's how it works. When you have an asset class underperform so egregiously, you're going to have the entire Wall Street press showboat and say, hey, 60-40 is done. This is what you should actually be doing. Make a bunch of changes, sell all your stocks, sell all your bonds, and do all this crazy stuff. And then what's going to happen is the 60-40 is going to outperform. That's my crazy prediction. Anybody else has some interesting contrarian predictions for the financial markets? It doesn't have to be stocks. It could be commodities, real estate, it could be anything. Any predictions for next year that you guys think is not Main Street thinking? What do you guys think? But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, please leave a like on the video and hit the subscribe button if you're new. We do these lives about 5 days a week, starting at 8:30, and we'd love to have you guys here watching, listening with us. Wendy England says invest in bottled water companies. Blues Writer says the Cleveland Browns will win the Super Bowl. I'm going to hold you to that, Blues Writer. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Hey, Richard Vogel says, love it, Tom. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Thank you so much, Richard Vogel. Appreciate it. Hey, Dante Rose is here. What's up, dude? Long time no see. Says, hey, Tom, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Dudas says, Tom, my prediction is Facebook's metaverse will actually take off. That's a very good prediction. Diego says, Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Diego, Mars Tech. Good to see you, Mars Tech. All right, I think we're gonna go one more down. We'll pass Jamie Dimon's office one more time. And then we'll cut over and check out the crowds. If it's too crowded, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to go in, but we'll see. Mr. Cold says, Tom, 2023 is the year of making sure your finances are solid for 2024's market. Very nice. Outer Haven says you predict a Tesla comeback. That's actually a good contrarian thinking. I like it. I don't agree with it, but I like that prediction. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, wouldn't that be the craziest psyop ever? If next year, after everybody is, showboating and gloating and saying, Elon Musk ruined the company, all this and that, and then it comes roaring back and blows the top off all-time highs, that would be the biggest, people's heads would explode. I actually hope that happens. I don't think it's going to happen, but great prediction. 10 out of 10 on that. The LT Prod says, I predict Twitter is going to buy Substack. Interesting prediction. I mean, Twitter just got rid of Review. I don't know why they would buy Substack, but it's an interesting prediction. Mike C says, Tom, I predict an FTX comeback. Oh my God. With the way the world is working now, with how just bizarre the world is, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say that. I actually wouldn't be surprised. E. Smith says, Tom, my view is that there will be too much supply of goods, and by second quarter, inflation comes back down to 2%. By third quarter, says E. Smith. Okay. That's a good prediction. Michael Joseph says, I can see Meta and NFTs might actually do something by the end of 2023, since so much R&D had been invested into them. You are right. I mean, the R&D has been wild, and that is actually, I remember during earnings season we actually covered Meta's earnings report, and I think the biggest takeaway for me is all the analysts on the call were flaming Mark Zuckerberg about all the egregious spending, especially as it relates to data center and cloud. Anthony says, Tom, are you upset? Barbara Walter. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. It's horrible. You never want to hear anybody passes away. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm trying to park. It's really hard parking here. If it was my advice, I would take the public transportation into the city. I would not try to drive. But that's just me. Here's an interesting contrast. Now, has anybody ever been into the Dime Saving Bank in Brooklyn? Anybody in the chat? Now, I want everybody to compare the brand new futuristic JP Morgan Chase retail bank with the older style, more classic Dime Savings Bank. And let me know which one you like better. I think I like the old stuff better. I mean, I'm not saying this is bad. I'm not saying this looks bad. I'm just saying I like the older Dime Saving Bank better. Anthony says, Tom, don't forget to add your 60-40 prediction that it will rip your face off. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to do that. What I may do is I'm going to put a spreadsheet together, but make it in a Google Cloud document. And I'm going to post the link to the community page. And everybody, if you want to participate, you don't have to if you don't want to. Everybody can write in their most outlandish prediction. Like a big, bold prediction that's probably not going to happen, but if you had to bet it would, that's what it would be. And mine is that the 60-40 portfolio is going to rip faces off next year. I think that would be crazy. I think it would be fun to do that, and we'll check the results next year. Stephen Bates says, my prediction is that Wall Street bets stocks are going to come back next year. I don't think so, man. But hey, I mean, good contrarian prediction. I think that a lot of those people got washed out. Hey, Dynasty Flows is how you doing tonight? I'm doing good. Doing really well. Yeah, Western Mass Daves, Tom, I love it. The Dime Saving Bank is extremely beautiful. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's actually an apartment building now. Wow, DWG says, Tom, I was 99 points high in S&P end of year prediction. Oh my God, you nailed it. You're only 99 points away? Jeez. Nailed that. All right, we'll cross. We'll try to make our way into the Midtown sort of heart of it. Maybe we'll go down a couple more. Yeah, Ryan Beck is closer than Tom Lee. You know, you know why I really, really like Tom Lee? I'll tell you why I really like Tom Lee. I'll tell you after the car goes by. You know, a lot of people, and I know it's all jokes, I know it is, but a lot of people are really, really like get viscerally upset on Twitter and say, oh, you know, Tom Lee is a pundit, he's a scammer, and this, you know. You know, it is not easy to be a big public figure on Wall Street and be so open about all of your predictions. It is not an easy thing to do. And while managing money for clients, so I actually give Tom Lee a lot of credit that he sticks by what he says. And I think it also teaches people that if you think about the greatest analysts and greatest traders on Wall Street ever, the best ones are only right about 45% of the time. And that is like the top tier analyst and the top tier trader. And I think a lot of people who first start to get into the investment business, they say, oh, see, you said this was going to go up and it went down. You suck. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. They don't get they don't understand the full picture. It's just not how the investment business works, right? The best traders and the best investors are only right about 40% of the time. But the way they make all of their money, and if you look in the channel, I posted one of my favorite clips of Stanley Druckenmiller ever. It is by far the best clip of Stanley Druckenmiller way back when he was a young kid coming up on Wall Street working under George Soros, right? Arguably one of the greatest traders ever in existence. And he said, he's like, if I had to say one thing that I learned from George Soros, is that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about when you're right, you got to have the full position size on. I mean, you got to give that position gas, and you got to go pedal to the metal on that, right? And it's very contrary to what happens with the average retail trader. What happens if they're up, 20% on a position, they'll quickly take the profit and close the position. And if they're down, 20% on a position, they'll keep that position and they'll let it ride, right? And the reason why most people do that is because that is normal. If you actually do that, that means you're a normal functioning human being, because that's what human psychology forces you to do, right? If you have a little 20% gain, you lock it in, you're like, so glad I got that 20%. And then you'll keep a whole portfolio of losers when it's the exact opposite. If you're down 7% on a position, you got to blow that thing out, right? But if your stock starts to move up, 10%, you give it more gas, you ladder into the position, okay? Maybe if it's up 50%, maybe you go a little bit on margin and you give that thing gas, right? All of the most successful traders do that, and it doesn't mean they're the best stock pickers, right? You could be the worst stock picker ever, but if you manage the positions appropriately, you're going to make a lot of money. It's a really, really good point. So check this out. This is actually the back entrance of the Cornell Club. I'm not sure if we have any Cornell alumni here in the chat. Has anybody ever been inside the Cornell Club out of curiosity? Looks really nice. Blues Writers' Portfolio of Losers is an excellent name for a band. It is actually an excellent name for a band. I concur. Hey, I'm headed to Madison Square Garden tonight. Oh, really? Who you seeing? I'm seeing Portfolio of Losers. Love that. 10 out of 10. 2 points added for creativity. Wow, I really want to go in this building. Look at how unique these windows are here. Wow, I don't think I've probably walked past this building, but I don't remember looking up at these windows here. Look at how unique that is. Bren Hawthorne says, hey Tom, what do you think about Trump having a bank account in China while he was president? I don't think about it. I actually posted something on Twitter today that I'm actually exhausted about hearing about people bicker about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I've tried to tune everything out. I'm sick of hearing about this laptop. I'm sick of hearing about it. I don't care about it. Okay, I think the buffering has stopped. But notice as we get closer to Times Square, the buffering starts. All right, no political discussions, especially from the dark horse. Now, the dark horse, I've asked you about 90 million times, okay, to keep the political comments at a minimum. But for some reason, every night you have this almost like a raging thirst to tell everybody your political views and tell me how I need to warn people about things. I don't need to do anything. And if you think your voice is so important and the word is so important to get out, start your own channel. Walk around the city for 2 hours and tell people about it. You know, don't be lazy and do it here. Do it on your own, right? And I say that with respect. I say that because I love you. So if it's so important, start your own thing. You know, walk around the city, talk about it. But, you know, just keep it to a minimum here. That's all. Here we have the Bank of America Tower. Now, I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to get into Bryant Park. It may be so crowded we won't even be able to get in. You can see all the police skates starting to pack up here. if we can make a little shortcut here. Oh, this is a good shot of the Empire. No, and I think I want to be clear. I don't have a problem with the political, just basic political talk. But from some of the chatters, it's just like relentless, and like with the name calling, like, oh, you crazy libs are destroying everything. And this is coming from a conservative, right? I'm conservative, but, after working a 12-hour day, I don't want to, listen to you talking about liberals and libtards. It's like, dude, I'm not interested in it, man. I'm going to be candid about it. If you think it's so important, start your own live stream, right? Start your own. People will watch it. That's all. You could be respectful, but when you start saying, libtards, you're ruining this and ruining that, nobody wants to watch that stuff, dude. Go watch CNN if you want to watch that, or go watch Fox News. I'm just trying to relax. Not as many people in the Bryant Park Winter Village as I thought. It seems as if Times Square sucked a lot of people out of the Winter Village. Ooh, Harry says, have you been to Dubai for New Year's Eve? I have not. I haven't really traveled abroad much. I think that's one of my goals for the new year. I want to travel abroad. Wow, check this out. I think this is probably the best view of the Empire we've seen all day. Hey, XRP Rays, what's up? This is Happy New Year, Tom. Happy New Year to you. Let's actually try to walk through this way. We usually always cut through the back. Hey, Steven, says Tom, you should visit your neighbor, Canada. Hey, I'm planning a trip to Canada this year. I'm excited about that too.
Tastes even better than the drink.
A lot of people sitting down now, enjoying the 50 degrees before tomorrow's rain. Will M says you got to take the Amtrak from New York City to Montreal when it starts up again. One of the most scenic rides in the country. I wanted to do that, honestly, before COVID, but those plans definitely got canceled. Young Nation 92 says, Tom, have you been to Arizona? For a little bit. I was there very, very frequently because I would often have to go to Vegas for work. And to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of Vegas. I really wasn't a huge fan. And what's even crazier is I had to go to Vegas on literally the hottest recorded temperature on Earth. So I was in Las Vegas when I think it was 124 degrees out. I've never really experienced anything like that in my life. It was very weird, to say the least. Very weird. Hey, Jordan Miller says hello to everybody. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Dusty Cole says Montreal isn't far from you, or Quebec City. Yeah, I definitely want to travel more in the new year for sure. Hey, Herbert Daughtry, thank you so much for your $5 donation. I appreciate it. This is Tom. We're political opposites, but I enjoy and support your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Herbert. Thank you for your kind donation. Three grams is its face melting heat, even if it's dry. Wow, you've been in Phoenix for over a decade. Yeah, I just didn't really, I don't know, I think you really have to be used to it. I mean, obviously being from the Northeast, it's not dry here. Obviously, we're on the ocean. It's more humid in the summers, and I really like humid climates. And especially in Miami, Florida. Nothing wrong with Vegas, just not really for me. And I would say it's far away too. All right, let's try to walk around the back. Here's the main Bryant Park fountain. Hey, Beacon, New York, this is Tom. Drive up to Montreal, stop a few river towns. Small cities along the way, visit Albany, Saratoga, Lake George. Love that. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for your $5 donation as well. Thank you so much. Outer Haven says, Tom, do you gamble? I don't. I'm not a big gambler. You know, that was another thing. When I went to Vegas, I think you really have to have an acquired taste for Las Vegas. And you know what surprised me too? I didn't know. There was a lot of people smoking inside the hotel, like the hotel lobbies. That really threw me off. NYC 95 says, Tom, do you prefer the freezing cold or sticky hot weather in New York? I love it when it's hot and humid in New York. And I know that may sound crazy, but I love the summer in New York. I like it when it's 90 degrees, high humidity, scorching hot. That's just what I like. I like it. I think the city's a lot of fun during that time too. Again, I think it just depends on your personality, right? Because I'm not a big skier, I don't snowboard, I don't really do any winter sporting activities. So it's sort of like if it's cold out, it's just cold and that's it for me. But I love going to the beach, I love being out in the sun, running, walking, obviously. And I'd much rather do that in hot temperature, I guess. Hey, RVer, thank you so much for your $10 donation. This is great to look at New York City, how far from Times Square. So RVer TV, thank you so much. Guys, check out our pal here, the RVer TV. I was checking out his channel, massive channel, very interesting too. For anybody interested in RVing and things like that, check him out. Unique stuff. I think you guys will enjoy it. Please go check him out. Go over there to his channel, check it out. We're about 2 blocks away from Times Square. So for some perspective, we are here at Bryant Park, which is 42nd Street. You can see Bank of America Tower, as well as right in front of us, the Stephen Schwarzman, which is the main New York Public Library, the original New York Public Library. So this is right on the corner of 6th Avenue, or they call it Avenue of the Americas, 42nd Street. So if we just walk 1 block over, we'll see Times Square. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get there. I'm gonna try, but I think we're going to start to buffer, and I think the crowds are going to be really, really big. But we'll try it. We'll definitely go over and try it. Gary Carpenter, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Hey, A9S5 says, Tom, I'm from Mediterranean and love 90 degrees, but I've never seen an American friend liking hot weather. Interesting. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I love it hot. I think New York City would be amazing. It still is amazing. I love New York, but it would be 10 times better if it was summer all year round. And again, that may be a hot take because a lot of people like coming here to, see it snow in New York. But I don't know, if I had to say, I just like it summer all year round. Wow, a ton of people on the ice. Check that out. Hey, Tom from Midtown says there's a saying that winters in New York are what keeps the rest of the world from living here. I never heard that saying, but I think you're right, Tom. Now, I've made the prediction that if it was sunny all year round and beautiful weather in New York, I think the property values would be even more insane than they already are. This would just be like a playground for the ultra wealthy. I don't think anybody could afford to live here if it was nice all year round. Ton of people out. Hey, Hawaii is here. Good to see you, Hawaii. Happy New Year's Eve. MP4 says you have not walked through Times Square. Not today. I think I'm going to attempt it. We're going to try. But I don't know if we're going to be able to make it through. I mean, look at all the people here. Try to make our way through the crowds here. Hey, Pot of Gold, good to see you. You could actually see the New York Times building directly in between the Salesforce Tower. Now, there's a pretty big software company that works out of that office tower, which is called Datadog, ticker symbol DDOG. I think they have a pretty big presence there. All right, let's try to head towards Times Square. Someone says, were the crowds this busy last year? I'm trying to think. Let me think back to last year. I think the crowds were bigger this year, I would say. I think I could get a better gauge on it tomorrow night, assuming we're going to be live tomorrow, maybe. Because we were walking around on New Year's Eve and it wasn't too packed. Not what you would expect on New Year's Eve in New York. I mean, we were walking around fine. So I think it's going to be better to maybe make that comparison tomorrow. But if I had to take a stab at it, I think there's more people this year. Hey, Jessica B, good to see you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. MK says, hey Tom, just catching up, building on 44th Street next to Cornell Club is the New York Yacht Club. Wow. I've never even heard of that, New York Yacht Club. I would love to go inside though. I mean, the building and the architecture is fantastic. Zozo Bob, Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll be back to Miami soon. Zozo Bob is our pal from Miami, Florida. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. All right, we'll make our final push towards Times Square. We'll see if we can get close. We'll have to watch out for the buffering. Hey, Steven, this is checking in late, Tom, from Panama. Good to see all of our viewers from Panama. Thank you so much. DWG, welcome. Hey, Hawaii, thank you very, very much for your generous and very kind $20 donation. This is Tom. I wish you continued success and many blessings in 2023. I look forward to more walks on Wall Street. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you found the stream. So Hawaii, very much appreciated the support this year. Again, as you guys know, the chat is a little wonky, so I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Jeff says you have 32 shares of Datadog. Ooh, I hear a skateboard. I love skateboards. Oh, it's not a skateboard. I thought that sound was a skateboard. It was similar. Oh, War Walker. Let me see. War Walker, thank you so much for your $10 donation. This is Happy New Year, Tomcat, and had success in 2023. War Walker, thank you so much for being here almost every day. War Walker is a trooper. So thank you, War Walker, for your kindness. I appreciate it very much. Our very good pal from Miami, thank you. I think War Walker is... I think he gets the credit for coining my nickname Tomcat, right? I think that was War Walker. I think he started the Tomcat train. Now this is one Times Square, you can see right here, with all the scaffolding. This is where they're going to be dropping the ball tomorrow, hopefully, please God. War Walker says I'm addicted to the stream. It soothes my mind. It does soothe mine as well. So I appreciate it. Now, guys, I'm surprised we're not buffering. Or we may be buffering a little bit. But I'm actually quite impressed. We're now in the heart of Times Square, 42nd Street and Broadway. And it looks like the internet is holding up fairly well, right? Ah, Lupe. Thank you. You know, let's actually walk all the way down near the Madame Tussauds. I don't think I've ever taken you guys just walk directly down 42nd Street, mainly because it's not the best. But hey, it's New Year's Eve. We might as well do it. Might as well take a walk through here. Oh, is that right, Nexus? Nexus is the One Times Square building, is going to be the new casino location. I thought they voted that down, didn't they? I mean, I could be wrong. Now, are they going to build the casino? I didn't think they were. I thought that's going to be struck down, maybe. Now, this time tomorrow, you won't even be able to stand here. I think the police are probably going to block all of this off. You know, I was thinking about doing this, team. I was thinking about doing this. Since it's going to be really, really rainy tomorrow, I mean, it may be a total washout. I may wake up earlier and do a New Year's Eve stream starting at 1 o'clock before the rain, just so you could see all the setups, we could hang out. Depending on the weather, I'm going to look at the report later tonight when I get on the train. What do you guys think about that? Because I think it may be a big rain out tomorrow. Here we have the FDNY. Love the FDNY. Harry, good to see you. Whoa, look at this big crowd coming across. Hey, Julia M, thank you so much for all the support this year. And thank you for joining us on tonight's live stream as well. All right, let's walk a little bit further down. Everybody's trying to get in the bus lane to try to speed up out of the traffic, but at the end of the day, you should probably avoid Times Square on the busiest day on earth for Times Square. Hey DM, Happy New Year. Wow, I haven't been down here in a long time. It's actually cool to kind of see it. The new Victory Theater. I haven't been here in a long, long time. We have Whitney Houston coming down here. Big fan of Whitney Houston. Really enjoy her music a lot. Hey, Teresa Diaz, thank you so much. Congratulations on 26,600 subs. That's insanity. Well, thank you all for joining Walks in Wall Street. I never in a million years thought the channel would grow this big, so I appreciate all of you being here and having good conversations. I appreciate it very, very much. Hey, this is Tom. I've been downloading some of the big banks and investment companies' 2023 Outlook presentations. Most are available on their websites. Great reading from some top research. Yeah, I've been doing that too. Now, there's a really good Twitter account that you should follow. I forget the name, but here's what I'm going to do tomorrow or tonight when I get on the train.
Yo, can I get in the video?
Huh?
Is that a video?
No videos.
Oh.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do tomorrow or later tonight when I get on the train is I'm going to post my top 5 favorite Twitter accounts that I think you guys would get the most value out of. And there's a few that I have in mind, but I'm going to post them, but I just can't remember their exact user tag names. right, I think we may head back. Speaking of a lot of the GameStop and meme stock nonsense, we're outside of the AMC Theater. The LT Prod. No, it's just that sometimes when people ask if we're doing a video and then they say, can they get on? They tend to stick up their middle fingers, and I have to go back and edit it out, and I just am a little bit tired tonight, honestly. So I don't want to do that. Many of them don't, but there's a lot that, you know, I can kind of tell when they come up. Nothing against anybody, but I just don't want any, you know, lewd things that I have to edit it out. And I think we also have kids watching. I don't want anything, you know. All right, let's head back in and let's see if we can get a shot of the numerals. I think they're actually doing the countdown as a test tonight as well, I think. So could we get a quick time check in the chat? Because if it's near the top of the hour, I'll actually be able to show you guys the signage of they do the countdown. I think they're testing it out tonight, so maybe we'll be able to hear it. Hey, Tommy G. Says, Tommy, you streaming tomorrow? There's about an 80% chance, but it may be really rainy. It may be like a big rainstorm. And I don't know if I want to be out in that. But about 80%, I'd say. I'm going to look at the weather. It's supposed to, unfortunately, it's supposed to get really nasty out during the exact time that the ball is going to drop, obviously near midnight. Ooh, it's 11:05. I think we just missed it by 5 minutes. Usually you'll hear it. There's going to be the main Times Square announcer. I think they're doing the testing. We'll see if we could... We'll check it out. But we may have missed it by 5 minutes. All right, so we are now making a left right here on the corner of 7th Avenue. I don't know if we're going to be able to break through. I think we found a hole. We'll try to... Is that in football? Is that a football reference? Find a hole? Three Times Square. You're the Hard Rock Cafe. Lots of people. The siren says you found a gap. But does anybody in the chat have some interesting New Year's Eve plans?
Jessica! Get in a rickshaw.
Any interesting New Year's Eve parties you guys are gonna go to? Oh my God, look at all these pedicabs here, man. That's too crazy for me. Well, here it is. This is 1 Times Square. If you look very, very closely, everybody, right here, right where my finger is, you could see the 2023 numerals, but you can't see the ball. We'll try to walk down a little bit further. You can see the main stage. I think this is one of the main stages, but I think the main stage is actually on 47th Street. So when you're watching the cable news for the ball to drop, you'll actually be looking at these two main stages here. Wow, looks like crowds as far as the eye could see. Pot of Gold, good to see you. I don't think I'm gonna walk too far down that way.
Excuse me, officer. Which way to the Christmas tree?
That's where they
Rockefeller Center.
or whoever owns the other part.
So the main stage is all the way down there. Can you see it? It says New Year's Eve, Times Square 2023. I think that's where all the main performers are gonna go. Hey, Mark Davis, thank you so much from Toronto, Canada. Good to see you, Mark. Happy New Year to you as well, and thank you for being one of the first people to follow the stream. I think Mark was maybe number 4 or 5. So good to see you. Hey, John Legg. So when did they start removing the Christmas decorations in New York? I'm actually not sure. If I had to guess, maybe the second week of January, I'd say they probably start to take them down. I know, Dan says, Tom, you need to avoid this area at all costs tomorrow. It's going to be so crowded. You're right, man. I think this is actually the better day to come to Times Square if you're a tourist, because you're pretty much here on New Year's Eve, right? If you wait an extra hour, you can technically say you were in Times Square on New Year's Eve. I think this is a better shot of the ball drop location. You can see the numerals, 2023. Hey, Kevin Ramsey, thank you so much for your very kind $20 donation. It says thank you for the streams this year. Everyone get after it in 2023. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate it, and wishing you and your family a very successful and happy New Year too. Now, what is this? A Kia EV6 GT. Now, if we had to guess, how much do you think one of these EVs cost? Under or over $50,000? A Kia EV, I was gonna guess maybe, I would say over 50, but under 70. I would say over 50, but under 70. And then again, I don't really know too much about cars. Richard, you say over 50? Okay. 3T3 says it's garbage. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm like the last person to ask about cars. Touring different places is over 50. Ted Cease is over. I wonder how much they paid Kia. Could you imagine how much Kia? I don't even know if this is Kia. It looks like a wacky design. They probably paid well over $1 million to be in Times Square on New Year's Eve. How much do you think the marketing costs are for Planet Fitness to sponsor Times Square's New Year's Eve? I think that would be an interesting statistic to look up. It has to be in multi millions of dollars, right? Because if you think about it, what is a Super Bowl commercial, right? I think it's millions of dollars to sponsor a Super Bowl commercial. And I would assume more people watch the ball drop in Times Square on New Year's, right? Harry says 65K. Hey, Iowa Oak, what's up? Hampton Bays, thank you so much for the $2 donation. You're very kind. Thanks for being here. You know, maybe these are the barricades for people to wait in line to watch the ball drop tomorrow. Right into the police. I actually kind of don't like that stuff, man. What if he could spin out into the crowd, right? What if he loses control and barrels right into the crowd? Let's see if the police say anything to him. I don't think they will. Hey, Tommy G, thank you so much for your $10 donation, Tommy. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all of your support, Tommy G. Hey, Fabio's here from Brazil. What's up, Fabio? Thanks for joining us. But if you guys have enjoyed the live stream so far this year and today, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these lives about 5 days a week starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd love for you guys to join us. Hey, Robert Parker, what's up? Good to see you, Robert. Wishing you a very, very happy New Year. All right, we're braving Times Square for the stream. We're gonna try to, I wanted to show you guys the main setup here. I'm not sure we'll be able to make it there, but I guess we'll try, might as well. Hey, Jetlag is here. Good to see you, Jetlag. I'm very surprised we're not buffering. Okay, that was easier actually than I thought. I think this is the main stage. DJ Edits, Happy New Year, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much. Wishing you a very happy New Year as well. Wow, look at all the people down there. Stephen Lewis is like, Tommy, you missing Brickell Key right now? I actually am. But I guess this is kind of cool to see it too. All right, team, let's exit Times Square now. I think we got our Times Square fill, right? I think we saw all that we needed to see. The setup, the behind the scenes, the numerals. I think we got it covered for this year. MP Forces, Happy New Year from New Jersey. Thank you. Now those are the main speakers where they do the announcements or the countdowns. It's a little bit too claustrophobic now though.
Don't look at me.
All right, now let us exit stage left. Zada, appreciate you too. So this is all the electrical work, probably all the sound system here. La says, are you American? As American as anybody else can be, yeah, for sure. Oh, somebody's flying a drone. That's awesome. They're probably gonna get some really amazing footage. Chan Chan is here, says I find the vintage New York here. Good to see you, Chan Chan. And Happy New Year to you and your family. Coffee, travel, food, fashion. Says I'm sad Barbara Walters died today. Yeah, I mean, the chat broke the news to us live here. It's horrible, but you know, here's the reframe on that. We'll do a quick reframe. You know, she lived to 93 years old. That's unbelievable. I mean, talk about a big blessing that is, to be able to live that long. Tons of the TV production trucks here. Now we're walking about to be 6th Avenue, Avenue of the Americas. Fun Feed says he's from Staten Island. No, I'm from the better of the two islands. I'm from out east on Long Island, the better of the two. Just kidding for all of our Staten Island viewers. Just kidding, all in good fun. Staten Island's a nice place. Hopefully Vinny Castellano's not on the stream. He may have to hunt me down after I said that. Oh yeah, says, do you want snow? I'm not sure I do. I'm not a big snow type of guy. Wow, look at through this pocket right here. Really nice view of One Vanderbilt. RV says, I have cousins in Stony Brook, Long Island. Very nice. There's a good college there called Stony Brook. That's way out east though, in Suffolk County. Dr. Long, this is Tom. My mother grew up in Baldwin. Very nice. Right there on the Babylon line. Yeah, I think it goes Rockville Center, Baldwin, Freeport, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa Park, Amityville, Copeg, Lindenhurst, and Babylon. Taken that train many times. Oh, Tommy G, Franklin Square. Okay, cool. All right, I think we're gonna make a right on West 46th. Oh, look at all the roller skaters here. New Year's Eve roller skating. Very cool. Let's go past these guys. MP4 says you sound like Ray Romano. Now, I have a serious question for all of those in the chat. You know these rickshaw guys right here? Whatever they call them, the pedicabs? Question, serious question. Would you be more attracted or more provoked to take a pedicab ride with the music blasting or with no music and just a quiet, nice ride? Because I never understood these pedicab guys pedaling around the city, blasting the music, hammering on the music. I would never be attracted to go into one of those things. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Would you guys be more attracted to go in? Oh, I see the music is hammering the music. They're blaring the music. I want to go in. Oh, Joseph Hardaway says you like the music blasting? Okay, maybe everybody's different. No music. Penelope says nope. Andy says no music. Okay, we have some people that wants it blasting.
You would have the whole city there. Yes, you would.
No music? Yeah, I think I may need to go up to one of them and give them a tip and say, hey, maybe try to be contrarian, right? Because you see all of these pedicab guys blasting all over the city. And all of them are doing the same thing. They're hammering the same song, the Jay-Z song, the New York, and they hammer it constantly. Maybe one of them should take the contrarian approach and maybe not play any music and then compare their earnings that night. I think that would be a pretty good case study. I think that'd be a pretty good case study. I think they'd make a lot more money. Mike C. Wow, look at all the pizza boxes stacked up here. Robert Parker says I've taken that line many times to Limbrook. Now I take it to Valley Stream. Yeah, Valley Stream is a big transfer location. I think if you transfer at Valley Stream, you could either go to the Long Beach line or you could go straight to the Babylon line. I think it's a main transfer hub. Hey, Elliot Wave Reviews says, Tom, if they played some lounge or jazz music, I would hop in. Very nice. Yeah, D says, I wondered that as well. Why blast the music? Well, maybe we're talking from an approach of people who are from here, right? Maybe if you've never been to New York before and you're really interested in it, maybe it would be. But then again, I don't know. I mean, let's play it like this. Maybe it's a little bit different. If I went to, let's say, Tokyo, right? Never been. I would be a huge tourist. I'd go to all the tourist attractions. I don't think I would ever jump in a pedicab with them blasting music. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Who knows? I don't know. They seem to have it down to a science, so. Hey, Shannon Hall, Happy New Year to you and your family. Preston says, Tom, how much do those pedicabs cost? I think they're pretty expensive too, to be honest. I think they're really expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if you jumped in a pedicab. I don't even know that's what they're called. Rickshaws? At 46th Street, and they took you all the way back to Penn Station. I wouldn't be surprised if the guy charged you $100. Anybody want to chime in that? I think if I jumped in a rickshaw right now and told the guy, take me all the way to Penn Station, I think he'd bang me for $100. All right, now we are walking back to the office. I do have to get all my stuff. We're almost there, but I want to thank everybody for coming out. I think this was a fun stream. I want to wish everybody an extremely, extremely happy and prosperous new year. The opportunities in front of us are going to be endless. It's just going to be insane. And I appreciate also everybody for joining the stream this year. I mean, we've seen amazing growth on this stream. We built an awesome team here, and I've enjoyed thoroughly all of our conversations. So I want to thank all of you first and foremost. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, wishing you a phenomenal happy new year, healthy new year with you and your families. Thank you for joining Walks on Wall Street this year. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be 10 times better next year. Okay, mark my words. So Marcy M, thank you so much. Bitzita Lopez, Sabrina Fair, Lee, thank you so much. The LT Prod, Andy, Bree Grams, Dusty Cole, Fred X, The Mighty Bull, Hawaii R2D2, R17, 2D, Ted C, Liz, Ann R, Nina, Frank Garcia, Susan Q4, or Susanna Q4, I Rivas, out and about, Happy New Year. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere, and you just need to know where to look. Marcy M, Pot of Gold, Vine Sink, Stephen Bate, The RVer, thank you so much. Melissa White, Sabrina Fair, Lee, Corbin. I'll see you all tomorrow. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks so much for everything.